Everybody is self-conscious about at least one thing when it comes to their physical appearance, be it our weight, our height, or the shape of our shins. We all have something about us we would love to change, and while we all can fear things like makeup and dieting, have at least some kind of control over our physical appearances, we can't totally redefine what we look like. Unless we're rich, that is. Some celebrities have burned money to totally change what they look like. These are celebrities who spend a fortune to look completely different. Number 5. Belinda Peregrine. Belinda Peregrine, more commonly known just as Belinda, is a Mexican singer and actress. She first began working at the age of 10 on Mexican TV and went on to forge a successful singing career with the release of her debut album in 2013. Quite a career for someone so young, right? She has starred in a number of Spanish-language movies, as well as becoming a coach on the Mexican version of The Voice. Kinda makes me feel like a failure, to be honest. Not all is as it seems with Belinda though, as her looks are thanks in part to a Colombian doctor named Alfredo Hoyos. Possibly as a result of being in the public eye from such a young age, Belinda had issues with the appearance of some parts of her body and has taken active steps to rectify them. It was claimed that many of the procedures were done while the two were in a relationship, but since things broke off, he has pursued her for the costs he incurred that she believed were free of charge. Looking at images from her first roles in television compared to now shows some stark differences, and many people point to her nose as proof that she's had a significant amount of work done. It's been suggested that as well as rhinoplasty, she's also had enhancements to her chin and her cheekbones, as well as breast augmentation, liposuction around her abdomen, an eyebrow lift, and implants in the buttocks. In total, if she paid for all of this, it would have cost an estimated $38,950. Imagine having that much money to casually spend on changing your face. If you had that sort of money, what would you change? Personally, I'd add a unicorn horn to the middle of my forehead. Belinda, though, denies that she's ever had any surgery to alter her appearance and that the rumors are simply the result of jealous people trying to tarnish her success. It should be noted that people's bodies naturally change as they grow older, so comparisons with her appearance when she was just a child could lead to false conclusions. What do you think is the truth with Belinda? Natural changes with time, or the result of surgery? Whether or not they spent far more on makeup, personal training, and clothing than any slight procedures she may have had. Number 4. Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag first burst onto our scenes in 2006 when she joined the cast for the MTV reality show The Hills. He gave an insight into the lives and struggles of a group of friends who lived in LA and catapulted them into international stardom. She began dating and eventually married her co-star Spencer Pratt, and together they collectively became known as Spidey and have continued to make controversial appearances on reality shows since The Hills ended. In a tell-all interview in 2010, Montag revealed that she had undergone a number of procedures to maintain her appearance, and once she even had 10 in one day. These included a brow lift, Botox injections in her forehead, rhinoplasty, cheek and lip fillers, a chin reduction, liposuction in her cheek, waist, hips and thighs, having her ears pinned back, breast augmentation and buttock augmentation. This wasn't the first time she underwent surgery either. She said that a few years earlier she used the same doctor for nose and breast augmentations and was sure that he was the right person for these new procedures. It took her 2 years to save up enough for the work, and it's thought to have cost upwards of $30,000. In Heidi's case, it was completely worth it. She said that she had never felt as beautiful and sexy and that the results had dramatically improved her confidence. Years later though, her views seemed to have changed, and she was quoted in an interview as saying she was far too young to make such drastic changes. She subsequently had to go back into surgery to have some of the procedures reversed, and her advice to anyone thinking of surgery is simply to forget about it. It left her feeling uncomfortable all the time, and she now says she feels much happier and healthier. Now featuring in the rebooted version of The Hills, only time will tell if she's tempted to go through it all again with her newfound fame. Number 3. Tom Jones. Tom Jones' singing career began in the 1960s, and thanks to his powerful voice, has become one of the most well-known singers in the world, having performed on countless tours, recorded just as many recognizable songs, and earning a wealth of awards. There seems to be no stopping him. From his first performance in Las Vegas in the Flamingo in 1967, he performed for at least 1 week per year through to 2011 and became great friends with Elvis Presley after the two met on the Paramount film stage while Elvis was filming Paradise, Hawaiian style. Jones is no stranger to the silver screen either. He's also starred in a number of movies and shows as himself, such as Mars Attacks and Thunderball. as well as, most famously, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Simpsons. Despite getting older, he still tours and is a vocal coach on the UK version of The Voice. But don't you think he looks remarkable for someone that's just turned 79? There's more to it than just living a rock and roll lifestyle. With all the luxury his success can afford, his secret is, unsurprisingly, plastic surgery. So much so that his surgeon once apparently told him that part of his face would collapse if he had anything else done. His first procedure was performed in the 60s, following his newfound wealth, when he had his nose altered, and since then he's been a regular visitor to the surgeon's table. After decades of operations, what he describes as nips and tucks to his forehead, eyes, and chin, it's estimated that Tom has spent upwards of $100,000 to maintain his appearance. Following the warnings in 2006 though, he claims that he's done with it all and will just let himself age naturally from now on. Quite how easy it'll be for him to keep to this pledge is not clear. With a work schedule as busy as it has ever been, the temptation must surely be constantly there. One thing's for sure though, he's such a musical legend that everyone loves him just the way he is. Number 2. Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner is the world's most successful momager. She married her first husband, Robert Kardashian, in 1978, and together they had 4 children, who you may have heard of: Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, and Rob. Following the breakdown of their marriage, they got divorced, and less than a month later she got married again to Bruce Jenner, with whom she had 2 children, Kendall and Kylie. While Kris may have been criticized for living off the successes of her husbands, her career really came into its own with the start of the family's reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which premiered in 2007 and continues to this day. She's the manager or momager for all of her children and has carefully curated a route for them to all break into the public eye and forge their own highly successful careers. With increasing media attention that has skyrocketed since they became the most famous family in the world, it's perhaps no surprise that Kris has followed in the steps of countless other celebrities and elected to undergo some cosmetic procedures. There is apparently nothing that she won't consider having worked on, and the list and cost of everything she's had done is astonishing. Experts have suggested that she's had a range of surgical and non-surgical interventions, which include multiple rhinoplasties, a neck lift, breast enlargement, dermal fillers, lip fillers, an eyebrow lift, Botox injections, liposuction, ear pinning, and likely much more. She's referred to some of the procedures candidly on her reality show and is often the subject of discussion for her family. So what's the cost to look as good as Kris Jenner at the age of 63? The answer is that it's an eye-watering amount. Conservative estimates place the figure in the region of $250,000, but her sister once claimed it was actually closer to $1 million. While that may seem like a crazy amount to most of us, she is the matriarch of a family worth billions of dollars and has a daughter who became the world's youngest self-made billionaire. So it's just pocket change to them. Number 1. Demi Moore. Demi Moore began her working career as a model at the age of 17 and traveled across Europe before taking acting lessons and landing her first movie role a couple of years later in 1981. Her breakout role was 1984's Blame It on Rio, and from there she went on to feature in a string of blockbusters and successful Broadway shows. Throughout the following decades, she has continued to model and has been a constant presence in the public eye. But with the spotlight continually on her, the pressures of maintaining her appearance, particularly in image-conscious Hollywood, has been impossible to ignore. She's also been married to 3 high-profile celebrities in their own right: rock musician Freddie Moore, whose surname she keeps to this day, and actors Bruce Willis and Ashton Kutcher. While she has kept to a strict exercise and diet regime for many years, she's also turned to surgical interventions to help. There have been plenty of rumors about how much she's actually spent, with some believing it's been as much as $3 million, but the true figure is likely to be a lot less, although still a huge amount from most people's perspectives. In 2010, one of the most high-profile plastic surgeons in Beverly Hills, Dr. Ashkan Ghavami, said that it was likely to have been in the region of $250,000. But what does this price get you? It's thought that she has undergone a number of procedures on her nose in order to narrow it, reduce its size, and to pinch it down, while some believe that she's had breast augmentation, fillers in her lips, and liposuction across her stomach, hips, and thighs. There are also suggestions that she's had an eyebrow lift, which helps to cover other work that's been done, Botox injections to smooth her lines, and a chemical peel to smooth her face. All in all, no matter what she's had done, we think she looks great and hope she continues to keep a high-profile presence for many years to come. Did you know these celebrities have gone to such extremes for their looks? And does it change the way you feel about them? Make sure to let us know in the comments section. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.